This week we watched Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy from 1990, and this movie is not streaming anywhere. It's not even on Disney Plus. You can buy a Blu-ray, but it's not currently available on any streamer. And I think this might have something to do with the fact that Warren Beatty has owned the exclusive film rights to Dick Tracy since 1985. And in order to keep those rights, he periodically records bizarre in-character interviews as Dick Tracy.
Maybe offer you something to drink?
I don't drink, Mr. Malton. It might confuse me. No makeup for me, thank you.
Well, I'm not trying to flatter you, but you don't need any. You look just wonderful.
Pomegranates.
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 It's nice to see that yellow hat and coat.
I still don't take off my hat and coat. Nowadays, you just never know when somebody's going to put you on television.
Something like every 10 years, he'll do a weird Dick Tracy interview.
I mean, him and Disney do the same thing, you know? It's just, you got to revise that character if you're going to keep the rights for whatever reason. Otherwise, it'll go back to, the people he got it from.
Yeah.
And there's been a whole sort of legal battle with them in doing that, you know?
What's the point? He's like in his 70s. He's still doing this? Like they're going to do a Dick Tracy movie?
De-age him, you know? Indiana Jones 5 him, just make him look young again. It
seems like there's no interest. I mean, they literally bought Marvel, and they have no interest in making a Dick Tracy anything.
I mean, again, it's kind of understandable. I mean, it's a 100-year-old property, right? You know, it had minor success there as the comic itself.
It was running for like 40 years. It's an extremely successful comic strip.
Back when my grandmother was young, the craziest technology they could imagine for the future was Dick Tracy's radio watch.
Dick Tracy seems like the precursor to Batman, which is kind of obvious. I mean, Batman came from Detective Comics. Right. This is pre-superheroes. The detective thing was really what was going on in the world of comics. The most interesting part of Batman are the very colorful and exotic villains. It's kind of the same thing with Dick Tracy. It's all about the kind of wacky villains, which, you know, in the comic book seem a little bit like the drawings are caricatures. When you translate this into the real world, it's like they're like mutants.
Exactly.
They're all like
freaks.
Genetic abnormalities.
Which, you know, worked for it. It's a weird, grungy underground of pulpy freaks.
Well, it's the most interesting thing in the comic because Dick Tracy is kind of boring and stiff and just, you know, he's a very basic hero.
Oh, Dick is stiff, huh?
I'm going to recommend Dick Tracy. This movie might be kind of mid, but you'll be completely blown away by the cinematography and art direction, the latter of which won the film an Academy Award. Dick Tracy uses a limited color palette to replicate the look of the original comic strip, and that alone gives the film a very unique look. The artistry and the attention to detail are really a cut above your typical kids film in the early 90s. And in addition to great art direction and impressive photography by Vittorio Storaro, this PG film from 1990 features Madonna practically topless. Full Madonna areolas in a Disney movie, because this used to be a proper country.
Yeah, I did find that surprising, to see Madonna's nipples.
How did they get away with that?
In a PG movie? I mean, it was a Disney film to begin with, right? But 4 weeks out from releasing the movie, they changed it over to Touchstone, which is their like white brand.
Their
label.
other label, yeah.
They can put a little more mature things. Still, for a Disney movie to show nipple in a PG movie, and then I think there was like a body count of 27, and I'm not just talking about Warren Beatty's sexual history, of which he's slept with over 100 women, apparently. Which is, I don't know, rookie numbers.
What is he,
rookie
like
numbers.
Mormon Wilt Chamberlain? What the fuck? I had sex with 3 girls.
But I think this movie almost like stands as like Warren's like coming to terms with the fact that he does want to settle down, that he doesn't want to be a playboy his entire life. And yet, at the same time, Dick never really settles down.
Yeah, and the Dick Tracy character, unlike Bruce Wayne, is not a playboy, which makes him just come off extremely gay.
He's trying to make out with Madonna the entire movie.
Madonna's trying to make out with him.
Yeah, but he's got a significant other that he's like kind of interested in.
He's barely interested in Madonna.
Barely interested in Madonna?
And she's throwing it out there pretty heavy.
Oh man, is she ever.
Yeah.
Literally nips out, you know. So she apparently flashed Al Pacino on on the set.
I mean, she flashed everybody on the set.
Right, her nips were out.
Dick Tracy is really a film about family and parenthood. Warren Beatty is 52 at the time, so he's playing a much older version of Dick Tracy. Him and his girlfriend suddenly become surrogate parents to this orphan child, which is convenient because at this point in her life, Dick Tracy's girlfriend Tess is so old, if she is for some reason able to get pregnant, the baby will probably be born with genetic abnormalities that will cause them to look like one of the mobsters in the film.
Small arm caprice.
Yeah. Fetal alcohol syndrome Tony. Dick Tracy at its core is a film about fatherhood and not leaving your wife and child to fornicate with Madonna, which is a noble message, but despite being portrayed as the good guy, Dick Tracy does act questionably in this film. He waives people's rights, he tortures prisoners, he breaks the law that he is supposed to be enforcing. So in addition to this movie being socially conservative, it's also very pro-cop, which is interesting because I think most Disney movies these days would be much less socially conservative, but would probably be just as pro-cop. So they could possibly do a modern reimagining of this film where Dick Tracy sodomizes someone in custody, as long as he's played by Elliot Page.
Ah, yes.
Or a black guy.
He would be named...
or a black girl.
Yeah, sure. Elliot Page can play the love interest, Breastless Mahoney.
Dick Tracy won the Academy Award for Best Makeup, and it's not hard to see why. The rogues gallery of villains are all very well designed. Aside from the great makeup effects, the casting is incredible. The actors that they cast to wear these prosthetics and play goofy mobsters, it's pretty impressive.
Right. The fact that you could have got anybody and slapped a bunch of weird makeup on him, but instead you picked like the upper echelon of actors at the time.
You gotta wonder if the production of the 1989 Batman really raised the standards, or not so much raised the standards, but made it so that A-list actors were willing to do things like this. They saw these movies as being more prestigious after the 89 Batman.
Right.
Although there were some good actors in the Batman TV show. I guess it's always been a thing where good actors do stupid shit to make some money. It's not really that much different than things have always been. I wouldn't say that Al Pacino as Big Boy Caprese is as memorable as Jack Nicholson.
No.
It's also a very flat performance, but basically Dick Tracy is a PG version of The Untouchables with Al Pacino as Al Capone.
Sure. No slow motion stares, but plenty of
he's basically doing the De Niro role from The Untouchables in a kid's movie. There's even moments that it almost feels like they're parodying The Untouchables, which Dick Tracy, the original property, was really based off of The Untouchables. It's Dick Tracy is supposed to be like a kid's comic version of Elliot Ness. He's
a good cop. He really wants to get the guy, and he's not going to necessarily play by all the rules to do it. I will say, speaking of Dick Tracy's questionable morals and whatnot, I think that is what ultimately keeps me from giving this movie a better score. I'm going to give Dick Tracy 3 stars. Here's what worked. The set design and makeup, obviously, painting, the whole thing looked like a painting. All the characters looked great, and the colors were fantastic, right? So all that's awesome. The music by Stephen Sondheim, who did Sweeney Todd and West Side Story, like complex, rhyme and lyrics.
He's just doing the stuff in the club, right? It's a Danny Elfman score.
It's a Danny Elfman score, which I think hurt it because the Danny Elfman score just sounded like Batman. It was literally just Batman. Maybe some unused themes that he just slapped on.
Danny Elfman's music all sounds the same.
Yeah, at a certain point, unfortunately. So that was a marring. And then Dick Tracy, he's just it's the classic story of a dick that just he wants to fight crime, and that is his priority. Not falling in love or not being in love and not showing support for his partner. He's trying to fight crime, and that's fine in its own thing. And by the end, we want him to arc. We want him to be like, oh, you know what? I do love this woman, and I do want to get married. And he kind of does that.
Kind of does.
He says to Madonna, oh, I love that woman. And then he can't get the words out at the diner. And instead, he just throws her a ring and then fucking goes back to fighting crime.
It's not very satisfactory.
It's not satisfactory. He could have said, I love you. Let's get married. And I was like, great, 4 stars. But instead he was like, I don't know. This chili's terrible. And leaves.
This guy is putting a lot of effort into not having sex.
Yeah.
He really does not want to lose his virginity.
He really doesn't want that. Yeah.
He's really jumping through hoops. It's very gay, Russ. This is why people think Batman's gay.
because he's always fighting crime.
He's a middle-aged guy who's not interested in women.
I like punching guys.
Yeah. And, you can see where all these tropes come from because they work a kid into these stories to make it more relatable for the young readers.
Right.
So you have the kid, very similar to Robin.
Right.
And then it's like the adult character, who's also written for children to enjoy, acts like a little boy. So people are like, yeah, he's gay because it's written like a little boy. He's a man-child. Yeah.
Big Boy Caprice, the design is interesting because he's not big. He's actually quite short, but he's got like a big, weird hunchback.
He's fat.
He's fat.
He's kind of fat.
He's got like fat back.
It's supposed to be Al Capone.
And Al Capone's fat.
It's kind of fat. 1930s fat is like, that shit's quaint compared to like modern America fat. Like,
yeah, I'm 1930s fat,
Yeah.
Every other scene, he seems to be eating cold, soupy chili out of a can. And then, between those scenes, he's going to a diner with his girlfriend and new adopted child, and he's making fun of the cooking at the diner.
He has a weird bit.
What the hell? Is it
just because like this is the generation that went through the Depression and they're used to like simple shitty meals?
I don't know. And he doesn't like the delicious eggs and bacon. He likes cold soup chili from a can.
Yeah. He's very set in his ways.
Yeah. And I guess that's the point. He's so set in his ways that he'll eat soup from a can and he won't ever sleep with his girlfriend and he's never going to get married, but he will cheat on her with Madonna. It's weird. He's a weird character.
They should just wait a couple years and do this with 80-year-old Warren Beatty. And he's just still on the fence about getting married.
Yeah.
He's like,
maybe is Madonna
but
still
you
around?
need a wife to help you change your diapers. And they're just trying to sell it to him in a way that makes it somewhat appealing.
Oh, God. No. No, it's. No. No, it's. That's not good.